Hi everyone, Andy here. Just a very quick Athena update. Most of the stuff we're doing at the moment is work that you can't really see visually, so there really isn't a lot to show you today, but I did want to show you a couple of things very quickly. So here I am in the Athena orbiter running on my iPad, and I'm just going to show you some things to do with lighting and power outlets. So I'll touch the lighting control there, and what it's done is displayed the lighting screen for the room that I'm in, which is the lounge. And you'll see a layout there. You'll see two columns. Essentially, you see a column on the left which is light switches, and we've only got one there in this demo system. And on the right you'll see scenarios, and you'll see some familiar scenarios. You see the all on, all off scenario at the top, and then we've got a bunch of buttons beneath that which are all scenarios. We just call them scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, scene 4, etc. And you'll see some different names down the bottom, but they can be named anything you like. There's no restriction on what you call those, and you program those in the normal way, just like you do today. You go into web admin, set up your scenarios, create custom lighting scenarios using the lighting editor, just as you would today. But what's different is that this screen is generated by those changes, those configurations you make in web admin, and so this, whatever changes you make there will determine how many light buttons, light switches you have displayed in the left hand column, and how many scenarios you have displayed on the right. And but the way they look, the way those buttons are represented in this screen, and the way these buttons are laid out on the screen is totally customizable in HTML5. So the number of buttons and the number of scenarios and what they do is defined in web admin, and the fact that they're on this screen is defined in web admin. And this screen is, as I say, the screen for the lounge in this system. But the way those buttons and scenarios and light switches are rendered, the way they're displayed, the way they look visually, is totally determined in HTML5. So we separated those two things away, and it means that you can customize the look of this orbiter in HTML5 without affecting the functionality of the buttons and what they do and what rooms they're in. You can't damage that, but you can play around with the look of these buttons as much as you like. It's just HTML5 code that you've got to change, and you can make very simple changes very easily, or you can make complicated changes if you want to get deeply down into HTML5. It's totally up to you. When you get when we release the beta, which is running late, I have to say, I guess some of you've realised that we're about a month late now. And I don't really have a date to offer you as to when this beta will be available, but it will be available as soon as possible. But when you get that beta, you will see some HTML5s some HTML files that represent this standard skin that we're going to ship with Athena when it ships, and there'll be plenty of comments and notes in the source of these various screens to tell you what you can customize and how you might customize it, and to give you some hints and tips on doing that. Everything in there is standard HTML5 markup. There's nothing special, peculiar about it. Anyone who's got any familiarity with HTML5 will be completely at home at customizing the Athena orbiter and its skins, and that's obviously one of the very powerful features of Athena. It's one of the reasons that we developed it. It means we can put this orbiter on virtually any device that's out there today. Anything with a web browser, you can have Athena on it. There's no limitation. You don't have to write in any special kind of programming language. You don't have to create any kind of special developer environment for coding it. You can just fire it at a web browser, and you'll get the Athena orbiter there, because it's all written. The code that makes the buttons work and the visual representation of the buttons and the other bits of the UI completely in HTML5. Right, that's about all I've got to say today. As I say, we're running a bit late on the whole beta release, but we will get it to you guys as soon as we can. We're desperate for you guys to get at it now, so we'll give you an update the next week, 10 days or